Hit it.
Hidden, hidden
Hit it.
record. Awestruck podcast Sunday, August. We're in August.
We are.
Got
We
to the
were
beach, got all red.
We were last week too.
Red. I guess we were. Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. But all the news, like I guess when I look at the news and I look at the dates of the news. So I pretty much pulled through the 31st. I wasn't thinking about it being August last week. But August got to the beach finally. Got super sunburn. I just showed Rob a picture that I sent my lady of just a totally red. I just wanted to show him my boobies.
I.
You know what I'm saying?
It was
So
great.
pretty great. Pretty great. So can't unsee that. You know what I mean? You're welcome, bud.
I was trying.
Will do, Spock. Will do. I left that up. I leave that up there. I don't know if everyone sees it. It's up there. I just left it in the template. So anytime I edit the show, it's right there up top.
What's
There's
that? The
our
will
links
do.
below. Will do, Spock. So let's do it. It is. We're gonna jump into a lot of little news. I got a little bit of show and tell. We got some Instagram action that came my way as well. And then Rob, you might have. Do you have any foils?
I do, but I didn't back and board them yet. So I'll have to hold them off till next week.
Oh,
I
foiled
know. I know.
again.
I know.
Foiled again. So, this I don't this is the first time this was already announced. We already talked about this, but they're
Mhm.
doing a DC special replica edition of this. But then they have all pretty much like the Joe Kubert school get graduates here, which is pretty
The
cool.
alumni.
The alumni Kuberts. So we
Yep.
got let's see. Oh, Jan Dursman. That's who I was. I was like, who's JD? So we have
Oh yeah, Jay.
yeah. So this is that's the ridge. And then they're gonna do this one. So let me go through, see who we got here. Emma, Joe does. They left the Joe Center. Ron Wagner, Tom Mandrake, Jan Dursma, Amanda Connor, Rick Veitch, Steve Bissett, Andy Lee Weeks on the Batman. Looks like he has an earring. Lee Weeks Batman earring, Adam Kubert, and Steve Lieber. Before the show, we kind of talked about how where's Chris Wilson at? Where's
That's
Chris
right.
Wilson?
Our buddy
Chris
Chris
Wilson
Wilson.
did the bricks. Chris Wilson did the bricks. Um, it's weird thinking about like that I guess in the 80s, like I guess different art or people picked up. Again, there's no clear path of entry into comics uh direct the same way. No one gets in the comic book the same way, however a lot of people say that. And that's true. But you would figure that, having the actual trade school, that I feel like there should be more. But a lot of people I feel like that they went there and then they went into places that actually made some money. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? They
yeah.
might win an
The
animation.
problem with spending money to go to a trade school like this is then you come out and like comics doesn't want to pay you now. It's almost embarrassing. Like
Right, right.
you're spending these 3 years. This is a 3 year program. Really good. It's really just about you getting you into the habit of drawing. That's the biggest thing you get from this
Mhm.
school. I mean, you get storytelling, you get all the stuff that you need to be a good comic artist, and then you go to work for Marvel, and Marvel's like, "Hey, you want $100 a page?" No,
Right.
because if I draw 20 pages a month, that's $2,000.
And
Who
that might
can
have been
live off
good it might have been good at that time, you know what I mean? Depending.
in the
It
70s? Yeah,
it hasn't
absolutely.
gone up. There was something recently, I don't remember which letter it was, but they had an old check and they did like two issues and he made like $1,800. Like that was a good month. Like he did $1,800 for hand lettering stuff. I forget
I
who it
know,
was.
I know. For DC New 52, one of the artists had come out saying he makes about $200 a page for pencils. You're like, okay, well that's 1,000 a week. That's not
Mm,
great. I mean, it's like okay, it's okay. But you can't, like, you're going to spend 3 years going to school and only make 50 grand a year, and you still got to pay for your own benefits, no pension.
no
You
pension,
know,
no
that's
security,
that's
no
terrible.
contracts. Yeah, you have to look. I mean, again, the whole industry up and down is just jacked in this fashion. Unfortunately, you have to. What I believe saved a lot of the auteurs in the 90s was just selling stuff over and over and over again to licensing. Grendel sold the licensing. Madman sold the licensing. Like just over and over.
Yeah, and
Kabuki,
he would
like, and
pray
shit would
that
never get made.
the Madman movie would never get made
Never get
because
made. Then
then he would stop getting licensing every couple of
he
years.
probably. I mean, I think Rodriguez throws in a check every so many years. I feel like that's still happening. I feel like that wouldn't stop. That's probably like a cool text. He's like, "Hey, it's about to expire," and he's like, "All right, hold on, let me Venmo you." Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
there's
right.
something. Let me call my lawyer and keep it going. Don't sell it to anyone if there's a lapse, But I feel like that's fine. You know what I mean? He has his own like little industry. So this is kind of a cool. This is in when is it? September. So September is a pretty cool month. I know I'm definitely getting that facsimile edition. 100 Years Life in Covers. Doesn't say what much that is. Let me see if it's up here. Let me see if they put it in here. 5.99. I kind of like these covers. I looked at the Fantastic Four one this week. I hated the cover of that issue. I thought it was really cheap. I thought it was just like 4 bars of like pieces of other covers. It was okay.
Yeah.
But you're taking like this is a beautiful looking thing. I kind of feel, and we'll get into some other stuff later. You could do you could do a $50 hardcover and have it be 400, 500 pages of all his covers, because all his covers for the most part for what he did at a certain point in Our Army at War and was doing All American too. He pulled back a little bit and then just did covers, and then on the other side he had like a lot of his people do it, whether it be Russ Heath, whether it be Frank Thorne. I lost a couple people that I'm thinking of here. And then you have this, which I'll probably end up buying. I think this is a pretty cool. This is almost like an artist edition cover, right? Like
Yeah.
it's where you can see all the ink lines and stuff. So this is Sergeant Rock by Joe Kubert Deluxe Edition. Maybe they'll put a volume oneer on that one. But that's Our Army at War 83. It's fully restored color. Previously unpublished artwork, new forwards by artist Andy Kubert and Brian Azzarello. But at Army at War 83, 91, like a bunch of them through some Sergeant Rock Special, because I think there was a unreleased issue there in Sergeant Rock Special 1, which I have, which has a Mademoiselle Marie story, which is beautiful. Wonderful, wonderful. So pretty excited about all this stuff here. I guess Ian put in the group chat yesterday he's never read this issue, so DC to collect Alan Moore's Superman stories in Absolute Edition. But how would he there's not they never reprinted that as like a just like a single reprint, right?
For the Man Who's Everything?
Yeah.
Not yet. I figured they're go. Here's the thing. I thought they were going to because they released two facsimile and foil editions for the man for whatever happened to the Man of Tomorrow.
Right, 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 right.
So like just but if they reprinted this and then reprinted DC Comics Presents 85, it's
Mhm.
like why would you go spend $100 on the hardcover?
Right, right, right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, so you're doing so it's what, 280 pages for $100. Um
By the way, it's only about 100 pages or less of actual comic.
yeah. That's what I'm having include new essays by Gibbons, Vage, Mark Wade, John Wells. John Wells of I guess ER fame, TV guy. Original art, color guides, new art by Beich and Ryan Sook. Hmm. Why is Ryan Sook doing anything here?
Was he a
Um,
fan?
I guess
You
it's
know,
just it's confusing.
I had heard a rumor at one point Ryan Sook was up for Promethea. Like he was interested in that book, and
Oh, I see.
so when I had asked, so what one day Scott Dunbier, he's like, hey, does anyone here know who else was up for Promethea? And the obvious answer, the first answer, it was always Brandon Peterson. Brandon Peterson was going to
Hmm.
go from Glory at Awesome to that. So I'm like, Brandon Peterson and Ryan Sook. He's like, yes to Brandon Peterson, no to Ryan Sook. He was never up for it. And he almost was like kind of weird about it. The answer is actually Bruce Timm and Alan Davis. They almost both drew Promethea.
Oh,
And then it ended up being J.H. Williams, which is the best
jeez.
choice of all.
Yeah. There's
Because
no one that could really do that.
Tim wouldn't have stuck around very long. And Alan Davis was very interesting because him and Alan Moore were on the outset over Miracle Man rights at one point, but
Right.
they were willing to work together on Promethea, which is interesting. But
That
it was
is,
just
I
very
would
weird
like that.
about. He's
Yeah.
like, no, it wasn't Ryan Sook. I'm like, okay, it's not what Ryan
Well,
Sook said. But okay,
Scott Demir he's a weirdo. He's a Awestruck Comics podcast enemy, number one. Scott Demir. Not exactly. It's just it's there's certain things that we a lot of times this has happened a couple different times. We know more, we remember more of the actual machinations of and stories of things that may have come out. And then when we tell the creators about this, then they don't know what we're talking about. What was your Eric Larson one? You had Eric Larson. Hey, you worked on a
oh,
Lobo story.
Eric Larson. No, it was a Batman story. It's like, hey, remember? I said, what were you going to do for that Batman Legends of the Dark Knight story? He goes, I was never going to do that. And I'm like, no. I said, in between Spider-Man and Dragon, you were going to do a Lobo story, which he totally remembers. He was working
Hmm.
on a Nova Marvel Comics Presents story. He totally remembers. didn't remember the Batman. I said, yeah, you're going to have Batman versus Killer Croc. You had this comment about Batman not having lips or something. He's like, no, he goes, I don't think so. So I found like the Wizard magazine, #3, where he talks about it.
Receipts. Yeah,
And I
yeah,
sent it to him. And he's like, I have no memory of this. Like
yeah,
nothing. And I'm like, that happens. Because
yeah.
we're fans and we pay attention to all that stuff. Plus, we're like 15 when that happened. So you were
Yeah,
14.
so
So
it kind
like,
of crystallizes, and then we
yes.
make our own comic in our head. We make an Eric Larson Batman comic in our head.
Oh, it's totally in there.
So I mean, I think that's the failure of Star Wars, the Star Wars like all the relaunches, because we had so much time in between certain things, so it would ruin. That's why I think Mandalorian was somewhat fresh because it's like, hey, this is kind of stuff I did in the sandbox, but it's we're not like, well, Boba Fett's story would be this.
Yeah, Boba
But
Fett is
so
way.
it would be closer. So we had a better time when we'd be like, okay, well, that's an analog. That's not IG-88, but it's IG-11. That's not Yoda. That's a baby Yoda. So like, I feel like we were much more accepting of that versus when they canonized stuff later. I mean, shit. I think some of the stories of the Boba Fett being vomited up, they just did that. They're like, well, that's pretty good. That's the best story you could have. Let's do that. Let's just do it. But then we didn't like that show. That show sucked. So,
It's interesting because we were so young for Jedi. Jedi was just great
mhm,
for us.
right.
But the people who saw it in the theater, the people who were old enough for Star Wars in the theater, and then old enough to see Jedi in the theater, to them it must have been like half a great movie.
Yeah, they don't like it. It depends on your
Like
age.
Full Metal Jacket. Like Full Metal Jacket's
Right.
half a great movie.
Right, right, right.
This is half a great movie. It's like Luke shows up, he's badass, he does everything awesome. Boba Fett gets taken out like a bitch,
Right.
and then it's like Ewoks.
Yeah, which was supposed to be Chewbacca's planet. But they
Yes,
did that in the holiday special, and I don't think that would have worked either. Have Lumpy show up. So, but you're right. So this is like 100 pages worth of comic book, basically, right?
right.
So that's not great. $100.
Yeah, I keep shitting on this. I still will back my
You should
other
love it.
idea.
I don't know
I
if you're
still
gonna
like
buy it though. You ain't buying it.
I don't know, man. If it were on like a really nice matte paper, like a parchment, if you
Mhm.
printed this on parchment paper, maybe. But like I don't like glossy stock on stuff that wasn't originally printed on glossy stock.
I don't know why there's $100. It seems that the $100 is kind of throwing me. I know that's what they're doing, and they're also kind of fucking up the Watchmen reprints, right? Because the Watchmen #1 facsimile was a year ago or something, and now they're going to do 2 through 12. They're not
Well,
doing
no,
the newer.
there's a Watchmen facsimile solicited for September for #1.
Are they okay?
No foil cover, but then #2 in October has a foil cover.
Well, watch out for that. They might go back to
Watch
that.
out,
Watch
Watchmen.
out! Watch out! Shout! Um, Work in progress Watchmen one, oversized black and white copy. You doing that one? Work in progress. Pretty big.
No, why would I pay for something half done?
It's half done. Well, it's because it's up.
I know what
It's
you mean.
two up. Whoa! So you were telling me mask #3 this week, and I looked through the covers. Why didn't they just do a Baron Karza cover? That would have been the hottest shit.
Because then you would know the surprise before you read the issue.
Well, so far #4, I don't think there's a if there's a variant for 4, but I was in a couple shops this weekend. I can't find a 1, and remember, I bought a 1, but I didn't get a 1 because fucking book was because the blind bags are shitty in my opinion. I hate them. Um, So, because I was trying to get a ROM and I never got a Mask 1. So I have a 2 Advance Edition and I was going to buy 3, but then I looked in stores today for 1s. I couldn't find a 1. So I'm like, all right, I don't know. But so we imagine basically, and we kind of theorized on this in previous shows.
Hmm.
All viewers, all the loyal viewers know this. We believed that if you got Hasbro licensing and you got ROM, you also got Micronauts.
Right.
Um, the only, let me think here. So does this mean what stayed at Marvel? Bug, right?
Oh yeah, Bug stayed at
There's three
Marvel.
characters. The three characters that were in Cable basically are Marvel comic book characters.
Right.
So you have to Marionette and I forget the other guy, the main guy. So you have to arrange for them, maybe. So maybe you got to make a call to CB. Maybe you are going to have a Transformers crossover to make Marvel some fucking money just to get your Bug in your comic. Because if you
Or
do a Micronauts comic, I know what you're going to say. You're going to like, or you make a Bug-like character, or it's his brother. You got to have it as Bug. It's got to be continuity. Well, not really, because the Energon continuity is not Marvel continuity.
Correct. It is brand new continuity. And they had like a replacement lead character in the IDW series.
Right,
Can't
right, 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 right.
you just Colonel Bravo him. It's all Colonel Bravos.
Colonel Bravo, baby. Colonel Bravo is Cable, right? Basically. Rebellion announces Judge Dredd Compact Comics. I kind of love this. I went on a little bit. This is 12.99 in the US. It doesn't say how big they are, but it's kind of crazy. I went through. I'm probably on issue 30 or 40. I was going through old 2080s like every issue. I have like probably the first 2000 or something like that in like a zip file of scans and stuff. So, but this is kind of fun. But the first, like, I love the way this looks, and I kind of feel like the narrow. Is it Bob Lappin? I'm trying to remember who did the lettering on this. It was the lettering for like everything for a long, long time. Is that same letterer and lettered Screamer? Might have been L. Lewis Buhalis. Anyway, but this is the issue. So issue 2 of 2000 AD. And I don't know how they're going to reprint this. I imagine it's going to just have to be black and white. Even though I think they did color and color classics. Um, but I feel like they should do this in black and white.
Like those great quality comic colors,
Right.
quality
Yeah.
comics, the
Well, this is,
worst colors.
well, here, I mean, that's the thing is that it would be like depending on where it was in the lineup, that's what's kind of crazy about 2080. Depending on where it was in the lineup, it's really hard to reprint that stuff because you either color all of it or you just black and white the one page that was color. Because if it was the last story and everything would rotate, so probably issue 3, Judge Dredd was probably on the cover and was the first story. Harlem Heroes in the middle, and then they would rotate the 3 or 4 around. Pretty
Now,
interesting publishing
are they
concept.
going to reformat the compact size to be equal to the magazine size that it was, but smaller? You know what I mean?
No,
Or
it
is it
doesn't.
going to,
I
are they
mean
going to
the
make it, are they going to make it comic book compact size, which means you got a lot of gutter room at the top and
Yeah, I
bottom?
don't know. I don't like that. So I don't know. Yeah, they don't did they do size? Let me see. Good question. Good question, buddy. Good question. No, no size. I don't know because I don't want the lettering to go smaller. That's AKA pads issue with a lot of the newer comic books that have lettering a little smaller or colored. And then when it goes to compact, you can't read it. Like he had a hard time. We're old men, you know
Well,
what I
then
mean? So
put
so
on the readers.
put on the readers, get into it, get inside of it, but that makes it difficult. And he got the Harley Quinn one, and the Harley Quinn one apparently was all better. So we covered half of this before. So the press release came out this week that Ocean's coming out and Automatic Kafka, which is Ashley Wood and Joe Casey. So Joe Casey's
Right.
getting a little love. $20 and $17 for Ocean. Um, Wildstorm did a Ocean Orbiter Deluxe Edition a few years ago, hardcover. Um, that's probably better. This is an interior page from issue 1. I don't like that. This looks great. That's a really, really
A
good
superhero comic
looking
book. I
cover.
like that.
Yeah, it does not really. But this was the trade cover, the Wildstorm Signature Series cover, which is a Michael Golden cover. And I kind of feel like they probably could have used. I feel like this cover is just better. That cover is just straight up better than that cover.
Yes,
I think.
I concur.
What is this, a Gary Frank comic book? Because Gary Frank has the worst trade paperbacks of all time. Like, what was the Midnight Nation one where it's just like it's like a road. It's not even
Yeah,
drawn. It's just little lines of a road. You're like, wow, awesome. But he has the apps, and even through to Geiger. I don't know, maybe that's his gig. He's like, I'm just going to make bad it's
it's
just a
like
biohazard sign.
yes,
Like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, does he want you to be surprised inside? You have to hook him. Hook the readers, everybody, get them. This I kind of feel like is a good. This is the opposite of Marvel. We talk about this again. I don't know if we talked about this the week before, but they keep doing that. Well, no. So absolute. Um, Martian Manhunter
Martian
was
Manhunter.
6. That went to
Right.
12. Absolute Green Arrow went to 12, and then they kind of have a sequel because they're saying Absolute Black Canary. It already is an Absolute Black Canary book, basically. So you're just making the next one. But Dead Man, they're pushing out to 12. I have never, it doesn't resonate. I mean, Maxwell Princeton, it does not resonate with me. I can't do it. You did not like the Superman. You
I
thought
didn't.
it was,
Yeah, I didn't finish it. It's out of character stuff in it.
yep, don't like it.
I
So,
will finish it though because it's Superman.
but if people are into it, just, hey man, do it. Martin Morazzo clearly is a very interesting artist. It doesn't seem to hold my attention on anything. I only grabbed a handful of these, but they're doing a Witchblade team up variant. There is, I count them 33, and they put out like 25. Um, I don't think the Bedrock one is out yet, right? The Liefeld. There's a Liefeld Bedrock. Gotta raise the Liefeld quotient, everybody.
Yeah,
Bedrock
Bedrock
number
2
3.
Bedrock 2 comes out the last week of August. They pushed it back a week because Liefeld's doing an airborne story, which is
Hairborn. He drew on the road. He drew it on the road. Drew it
I
in
I I've
hotels.
seen I've seen the pages. It looks good. It looks neat. Um, I
Behind
had
the
an idea.
scenes, exclusive,
I
exclusive.
didn't tell Rob this idea yet. But like every time they do like a Bad Rock crossover cover, they should just label it Bad Rock and Company. Just
Hmm.
bring that
Oh,
back.
I see what you're saying.
Uh,
Bring it back. Get a good. They ever make a Bad Rock and Company trade? Does that sound?
not that I know of, but they
No.
should have
They could do
put
a Bad
that
Rock and Company. They could do annual,
because the
right?
annual basically feels like an issue of Bad Rock and Company because it's still
Right.
Todd Nauck
Todd Nauck,
and there's Freak Force in it.
Art Adams cover on
Art Adams
annual.
cover.
Yep.
Yeah,
Memories. So anyway, but there's a Bad Rock cover Witchblade, but I only pulled a handful of these. I guess this new Witchblade costume is kind of like a symbiote or way. It puts like gold pants on, gold inside boob, gold bra. So I guess this is the new costume essentially. Except unless you don't want to draw that. Here's Tim Seeley. He's like, I don't want to draw that new costume. Um,
I get that.
and Brett Booth, he got the memo. You know what I mean? That's good. Who's that inking on that? That doesn't seem like
Is that a
Corona,
Delt
right?
Corona? Maybe.
It doesn't seem so.
It looks like an H, but also could look like a D.
It could be Danielle Henriquez. That would be good. That would be good. This is to me, this is what I would want. You know,
Yeah, this is like
forward facing camel toe. That's what I want with my comics. Okay. And then the Bacalo. I didn't know what this was. I'm trying to read this label. I was like, Lumi, it was Yumi zero
Yumi.
zero EX, and I guess I missed the first. That's a Bacalo variant. Awesome. But then I had to look up. I think I have it after this. So there's your Steve Scroce. Again, they got the memo.
He really got that's funny.
Got the memo. I'm interested in that book. I think that book is interesting, and they're doing a number one variant, which is kind of it's basically whatever it's going to be coming out. This one
Yeah,
also, that's pretty great. 64. I thought it was going to say 64 pages. That's issue 64 of that fucking book.
that's
That's
amazing.
crazy. I think they do have a compendium for the first like 30 something issues. Yeah, so this is I don't know what this book is. 00 EX Yumi. Could be not for me because I'm an old man. Old man. There's your Liam Sharp. That book is indecipherable. It's difficult to read. I can't see what's going on. It's him just in
And
full.
yet you are
Uh,
such a super fan, and we all
I
like
buy
Liam.
it.
We all like Liam Sharp.
Yeah, I would probably buy this because it's got Witchblade on the cover. Like I probably would switch my issue subscription for that. So, but it is not easy to read. Although in Starhenge number 3 of the first series, they just have like a full-on page of Death's Head right there, just Death's Head 2, just for no reason. And I'm like, how did you get away with that? Because no one's looking at it. So these would sell because you got boobs, right? You got camel toe. So these
Right.
are going to sell, right? So here's a bunch of Marvel comic variants that are just like, can you fire a CB now? Because who the fuck gives a shit about? There's 8 of these. Fall, what was it called? Fucking fall fantasies? What the fuck? What? Well, I want all these fuckers to be drinking like
Pumpkin spice.
pumpkin spice lattes and shit.
Yes.
How is this like oh man, okay, Alex Ross timeless boring, but I get it. I know people are gonna fucking I think Liefeld gets all those fuckers, so I think I understand that collection, even though I think that's a weird one too because you just have the torso, and then he does like a gigantic massive poster at the end and just puts all he paints them full, and then he just does like the the torso for the cover. Can I have a variant of like their legs or some shit? I don't fucking know.
The
Of the
legs
legs
variant.
variant. Yeah, right. For all the pervs. So here we go. Simone DeMeo. Again, beautiful. Simone DeMeo colors,
Oh
beautiful.
no, really good art, but like
Cool.
Snort's fest.
Capuccio, great.
Great.
Made his bones on Moon Knight. I don't know what he's drawing now. Shouldn't he be promoted to in old school, you'd be like Little Francis, okay, you get promoted to Secret Invasion. Like there should be a crossover that Capuccio's doing. I knew this right off the jump, but it says Juan Figueroa, but it's Guru Hero. So you have this wrong. Way to go.
Mhm.
Way to go. Okay, you put out a press release, you put this out, you put up a mock cover, but I knew right off the jump it was not that. And Guru Hero technically, I think, is a studio, so I don't know how that's a Stormbreaker or a Hot Gun or Young Guns, whatever the fuck they're calling them. It's been Stormbreakers for like 12 years now. Get it
Yeah.
together. That's your one. Got it. There's your Netho. I guess I've always wanted him carving. What are you doing? What the fuck is this? That's no good. All right. Continuing. Okay, so if Muppet Show is 50, who watches the Muppet Show? Walter Hackett. That's it. That's it. Me and Walter, me, Walt, maybe you, right?
Yeah.
But you're doing a Muppet Show, and Terry Dodson's like, this is kind of boring. Let me make it interesting for myself. Let me make some eyeballs on this. I don't mind it. I think it's pretty good. But I'm like, what am I looking at? Like it's so
Maybe these covers should have been, I don't know, funny.
they're not
Like you're
fun.
doing.
Yeah, exactly. That's yep. There you go. This should be funny. Is this funny? This is the
Yeah.
boringest fucking comic. That's so boring. That sucks. This one is like a mock-up, but it's not. I like it. It's kind of neat, but it just seems all. I feel like it needs to be a little bit better. I go back to it later. There's a couple of them that they posted this, they a couple later, but Brand New Day. Saw Brand New Day twice. Did you see it again, or you just saw it the once?
Just all the once.
Just saw it the once. Made 927 million worldwide. And what does this teach us, Rob? Just make a good fucking story. Don't drop us in the middle of the story. I was talking about Spider-Man to my lady on the beach yesterday, and she was saying some things about it, and then she was saying like, but that Superman movie. She's like, but I didn't like that. I mean, I stated this to a commoner, right? That it made it like $1 billion, right, in like a weekend, a weekend. I mean, that has made more than all of Superman and Supergirl together. And she's like, well, I don't know, Superman, I felt like I was in the middle of a story. I'm like, right. Like you got to do, you still kind of have to do a primer. Homecoming is a good primer. You don't do the full origin per se, but like it's a much better first movie. Superman is not a good first movie. It feels like a second movie. So that's no
Also,
good.
Superman moves a little fast.
Hmm.
So if you're trying to sell that to new people, it's moving a little fast. Spider-Man takes the time and explains everything in a way that doesn't feel like you're being taught.
Hmm.
And that's good.
We didn't really feel the betrayal of his fake parents because we barely knew him. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like 35 minutes in, you're like, oh, you think your lineage and your whole concept of lineage to do good, and then it's not do good. It just seemed like there's too many elements. There's too many elements.
It seems like a weird twist to like that's unnecessary.
And no one likes it, and they could have fixed it a couple times, and they didn't. They could have already fixed it. They could have already said what I said on day one. You know what I mean?
Right.
I agree with my day one. I agree with my own opinions, everybody. Shocker. But like
But
I love that the only movie I walked out on, the two movies I walked out on was Godzilla, the Roland Emmerich. I love that. And I love that after Dark Knight came out, I was dissenting. I was the dissent. Me, I think Ian also, but he dissents everything. That doesn't really count.
in the sense, he's like, "Oh, it's just a cop movie. Like
It
there's
was it
more
was too
car
many
chases."
movies. To
Yeah.
me, it was five fuck I'm not gonna do it now, but I remember like it's this movie, it's that, but then there's like what was it like
Yeah, but it all
the
depends on
trolley
how you.
people would die or the boat people would die. I was like, that's like a Steven
Two
Seagal
boats.
movie. That's a different movie.
Yeah.
That just plopped in there. So there's just
Listen,
so many. There's too many movies.
if you do it right, it's fine. The first Aquaman is 5 movies. The first this Spider-Man
Right.
movie is 5 movies. But they're
Yeah,
so
but the
well
first Aquaman, it
together.
was like we don't think we're getting another Aquaman, and in my opinion, they didn't. I'll just say that I never saw the second one, and I have zero interest in it because I don't
I
want to team
don't
up. I don't
I
want to
don't
team
hate
up.
this. I don't hate the second movie. The problem is it doesn't count. Like when you're building a
Right.
universe, you want these movies to count.
Right.
You
I
know, and
remember
that's
I
like
remember my knee hurt at the end of Aquaman. And because every time the next movie happened, I just slapped my leg. I was like, holy shit. I remember just doing it over because I thought, I was like, okay, oh, we're doing the trench now. Okay. Oh shit, there's fucking Topo. Bam. Like I just kept
yeah,
hitting it over and over
it
again.
it worked.
It
That
was fun. It was
worked.
cool. It was cool. I don't know. I mean, I liked Nicole Kidman. I like her showing up later. I thought that fucking Boba Fett, Demora Morrison Boba Fett, Jango Fett was dope. Like
That was
I
great.
just enjoyed the whole fucking thing. And I like that it wasn't a smart Aquaman, but he wasn't totally dumb either. Which you're like, I guess we're doing Momoa. He didn't. He did. He knew. He didn't even really. He's like, what am I doing here? But hey, man, cash that fucking check. So, um, I never saw any news on this before, but apparently they borrowed a bunch of money. So Goldwater, Archie Comics in delayed foreclosure sale. Why do I not know this? But he borrowed 40 million from Raven, an investment company. Here's the problem is that all the money that Archie could have made should have been in the licensing from Riverdale, and maybe they didn't write that deal correctly or the Sabrina deal, but you can't do those again. That's it. Like you can't, it's too new. You can't like revamp those. But when this article came out, it literally says the stuff we covered last week, which was my Shack and Company. That's like the only thing being published by them right now, and reprints and maybe some stuff is, but they're it's really gone down in how much is being published by Archie proper, and the revamp is through Oni. So I wonder if this may be what
Go back a
Marvel's on
page.
the way to.
Who took their own life?
Who's that? I missed it.
Masiello. Who's Masiello? Producer investor and signed a deal with producer investor James Masiello to develop Archie's secondary characters for media. And then Masiello fell out with the Raven guy, then took his own life.
Hmm.
Oh my God!
Unalive. You know, can't say that. We're gonna get ratioed. Is that a
You
thing?
you dropped the R word like 5 times. Rape, not the other R word. Like
Ratioed.
last week.
Yeah, ratioed everybody. This was a review that was on Comic Beat. I ended up buying this. I thought this is pretty dope. It was $4. It was 4 quid. I don't even know what that is. I bought it through PayPal, so I guess we'll do the trans thing for it. But
It costs 4 squid. That's a
but
lot of
just
squid.
looking at like this cover, this it flows down the hill. I was like, all right, it looks like
It's like Frank Miller meets manga
yeah,
meets.
it looks like Solomon Kane, and then a cape, and you got Mummy, and then you have a sword that might be alive, which is similar to Barbaric's like axe that's alive. And it looks like Headlopper a little bit. I love this. This is a Scottish person named Nori Millar. I guess no relation. Everything I hear, everything I read through in the article itself, it's not a Mark Millar relative. But I just thought some of the preview art looked good. So boom, how much would I like to pay? So I think that's interesting. Like I don't know if I could put less in there. That was kind of the model that was a Panel Syndicate a couple years ago when they put out Private Eye. They're like, you can pay whatever you want.
Who
Uh,
who did that for their album? Was it like Radiohead?
Radiohead, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then they made more money. Well, I think that they had some weird contract where I believe that they handed it in, similar to Fiona Apple style, where she handed in like Extraordinary Machine. They're like, we think this is unsellable, and then they brought producers in to redo it and then put it out produced differently. And then if you listen to the original, neither of them are better, by the way. Okay. You can talk to Ron Hoffman all day and night. Neither of them are very good. So this version is not very good versus that version also not very good. So the whole album's fucked. So I agree with the producers on that fuckers. Same. So whereas I think Radiohead, I think they handed it in. I don't care about Radiohead. They handed it in. They're like, we're not making this is unsellable, and they're like, all right, we'll sell it. And then I think they gave it back to them. Anyway, they made more money on that album.
Well, that right there is what made me start to believe in the idea. Like that's obviously pre-Kickstarter.
Mm,
So when Kickstarter started happening, I'm like, that's cool because people who have extra money want to give it to the things they love. They want
yeah,
more of it. I think I used to joke like in the '90s, like when Supreme was getting like Supreme had really low sales. I'm like, I would spend $10 an issue to keep this book going. You know what I mean? And there's a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
fans out there who would do the same.
Well, luckily, Eric Larson's a gooner and just puts cum in all of his books, so that's what sells now. I guess that's keeping him going because we figure that sells what 2,000 a month, 3,000 a month. Like we think that it's not
No,
selling
it sells
a lot.
better than that. It sells I think it sells around 5 or 6.
Yeah, still
I was
not
worried it was because
not
someone
to
else made
what.
a comment. Someone else made a comment about their comic only selling 1,500 copies, but like it misread weird. Like Dragon only sells 1,500 copies, and Larson's like, no, I can't publish it for 1,500, not 1,500 copies. I can't do that.
Right,
Like I
right,
have to do something else, which makes sense because he can go get paid by Marvel and DC, and he'd be fine. He doesn't even need the money. His wife's like a retired lawyer. He's fine.
right,
Their
right,
house
right.
is paid off. Like all their stuff is done. He just does this for the love of doing the comics, but he can't. He's still got to make it worth his time.
For the
So I
love
think
of the
Dragon.
game,
I think so. I
love it.
think Dragon sells around 5 or 6 thousand copies, which is fine because it's a $4 comic, and right $4. So he makes half of that. So he's fine.
Yeah. I mean, if this is so, but I was happy, and then I went on this. I went on a little bit of a pocket rabbit hole here. So I bought the PDF of it. And it looks like everything I like. It's got the stark colors similar to Jordi Belair. Headlopper colors looks like Headlopper a little bit.
It's got neat ideas. What are the
It
giant
like
skulls?
it's very. I mean, this was right up my fucking alley, man. You got lettering. You got lettering in an action panel. You got Dutch angles. Like I'm fucking purchased, purchased, purchased. So I'm very happy with this. I might try to contact this guy.
Yeah, I was
See
gonna
if
say, make sure you contact them.
yeah. So I went on his Instagram page, and then I dovetail on something. I
Oh
don't know if you know. This guy he's drawn for. There's Cosmos. He's drawn for.
no, I recognize his Transformer artwork. Has he done issues?
He's
Looks like he's
done
done
this
issues.
stuff. So this stuff is. Um, This is what TFN. You can buy these PDFs. These are charity comic books, and then they put them out. And sometimes I think there are physical comic books of this.
Tales of the Multiverse, dude. I love. If you look Thunderclash, you know who
Mhm.
Thunderclash is? You don't know
No.
who Thunderclash is. Um, there was a series. Transformers continued in Europe, and Transformers continued in Japan when they got did not continue here in America.
Mhm.
So Thunderclash was this tractor trailer over in Europe, and Hasbro decided to retry. Like Beast Wars became popular here,
Mhm.
so they tried to bring over some car robots from Europe here, and they called it Machine Wars, and it was a KB Toys exclusive. So they took Thunderclash and made a Machine Wars Optimus Prime in like '95 around then. It's
Mhm.
like after G2. So that's who Thunderclash is.
Yeah. So I wonder if this is because there is a Thunderclash like issue that started it off, and then but
Hey,
this
they used
guy,
him. He's
yeah.
part of G1 continuity in IDW
Okay.
verse.
So yeah, I don't know how this is coming out, but apparently like there is just uh stuff in here. There is Thunder, but he has some art in one. I think this one. I think the Hunt for Hyperdrive. He has some art in that, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, so it dovetailed into my weirdo dovetail Conan Barbarian stuff, dovetailed into your stuff. Transformers. Here's your MDLX, which is not Hasbro, but I guess it is licensed $103. I'm not sure if I think this is the 1980s. There's so many primes, right? But I just don't know
Yes.
if I like the chest, and it looks a little too animate up. This is, of course, what we
Yeah,
want. We want
it looks yeah.
it's a little too
It's
hyper.
G1 meets Revel Tech is a toy company that was doing stuff like this.
Yeah, it just looks a little too hyper for me. It's $103. I didn't. I don't know if you're caught. Well, look at this, dude. I guess I'm watching this later. I was trying to get all my news done to watch this morning. I got up at like 6 to finish the news, but yeah, My Adventures of Superman S3E09. I haven't watched
I've
a episode of this. You watched a season of this or two?
I've watched everything up to S03E08.
Oh, that's funny. Well, here you go. So I'm going to watch my first episode, just it being this thing, just being a Clark the Barbarian situation, which I was trying to think about this. The first time that was done was in what, Time and Time Again, I guess. Does that sound right?
That's what I always go to. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the go-to. Yeah, that's a great storyline, dude. I fucking love that. Yeah,
It
I
is. It is.
recently got a couple issues here and there, and I think I'm a much bigger Carrie Gamble fan, but I feel like I came in right after Carrie Gamble, so now I'm like discovering Carrie Gamble, and it's either Bob McLeod and Carrie Gamble or both, like where Bob would ink Carrie Gamble, so it's
That's a
pretty
good
crazy.
combo.
Yeah, so that's a great combo, but like it was that even back then you had people doing something and then like Ordway would ink or something. You know what I mean? You'd have like an artist doing that. So, but here, like this is an example of like, so here's another Muppet Show cover.
Yeah.
Send that back. Send that back. Annie Wu, like say, yo, I know Annie Wu can do much better. She did issues of Jughead. Like, I know you can do better than this. This is not a cover. This is not like you send that back and say, hey, can you do something a little bit like I don't know. If you're gonna have Emma Frost in there, you gotta have her boobs out. Like, you know what I mean? You gotta play up the sex symbol of that and also the
True.
sex
It should
symbol
be.
of Miss Piggy.
You should be looking at John Byrne Hellfire Club and having them in that.
Yeah. I mean, I listen, my first, I guess, you know, pre-teen sexual experience is with Miss Piggy because I had a Miss Piggy like puppet, and I'm pretty sure there's a picture of me when I'm like 5. I don't know if I can find this at my dad's. So I should probably grab it. Probably not. But it's literally me like basically humping this Miss Piggy, which is awesome. So that's my first. That's, there you go. So Jonas Scharf, another fall. What the fuck was that called? I
Fall
guess,
fantasies.
but even this, you know, that's her boob's bigger than that. You know what I mean? Come
What
on.
do you like better, her or the cats? I think you're a big cat fan.
Yeah, well,
I can make that happen.
yeah, but see, like these are cats that probably Jonas Scharf's cats because these are too like accurate. Yeah, these are Greg Land
There.
cats. You know what I'm saying? They're
Yes.
Greg Land
Right.
Trace cats. Here we go. We made it happen again, Rob. We did it again. Here we go. So first off, please don't make this the cover. Please don't make that the cover.
No, if it's not a Dragotta cover,
It's going to be that cover because Jim Lee can't fucking deal with it.
he can't.
I will say it's 1,000,000% that fucking cover, which I think is completely insane. So here, let's go. Let's see how many we got here. So DC Comics to start publishing Absolute Batman, the covers collections.
Now, does this
Good.
include retailer incentives? Or not
No.
retailer incentives, retailer exclusives?
No, I should find out. I should double check with my bro on that to figure out like if do they have the rights to ask for that stuff to print
They
again? I
they
don't think they do.
should.
I know,
They
but I
should.
I don't know. I don't know what the contracts are like, so I can get some inside info. So this is around 200 covers, 216 pages, 200 covers. So this would be full, maybe no trade dress, I guess. I guess they're all virgins in
That's
there.
fine.
All virgins. I
All
guess. I don't know. I
virgins
like I
buying it.
like I like the trade dress. But you're going to give us this was the what San Diego exclusive cover to the first volume. Jim Lee did all three covers of the first volumes, but I just I don't know. Let's see. Does it say? Let's see. So you have Mitch, Who's Who, Mitch, Jay Lee, Art Germ, Sean Gordon Murphy, Dan Panosian, many many others. Uh,
And
Cover
he
Gallery
includes
Collection,
the
original inked
original.
artwork by Absolute Batman #1. So that I think
Is
we've
that the whole
seen
issue?
that. No, no, no. It's just going to be the inked. It's just going to be the his cover one just inked, which I think is in the WIP. So we already have seen that, I believe. So that's what the ink wash and stuff. But
Okay.
it doesn't say right here, but I refuse. 35 bucks. That's not bad. That's not bad as a hardcover. That's
No,
not too bad.
for 200 some pages?
216 pages. You can what was the $100 Alan Moore with 100 pages of story is it
Yeah.
was 200 and it was 300, not even 300 pages. So, um, this I tried to read through this on the economics of this, and I couldn't really figure out because the way that this again, Bleeding Cool probably has AI write everything, right? Order 20 of each Midnight Universe comic, get a free official LED sign. So I'm thinking most
So there's
LED
what?
signs are 200,
So
$300.
is that 60 comics?
Yeah, but when I kind of read through like what they were saying you have to get, it's like a bundle, like it seemed like it was still going to cost a lot. It seemed I don't know. I couldn't figure out the math. I'm not really going to think too much
Okay.
about it, but yeah, the
Usually you
discount
like the
tiers
math. That's
rise
weird.
over 25, 50, and 100. Release events set. Again, these all come out on the same day. I think nothing else comes out that week here. This was the first time I saw the Clayton Crane triptych. Triptych. Uh, so again, the Spider-Man would be more impactful if I didn't see like a million fucking Spider-Man in the last like 10 years, right? I feel like
Yeah.
this is already a Spider-Man variant. Um, I do like the Clayton Crane artwork. It's a little bit cleaner than normal. It's not as muddy. There's a couple of covers that I don't remember seeing. But I just when I get to not necessarily this, but I think right when I get to this, I'm just like so much of the Absolute Batman is just body horror. So we're just gonna have what, 3 books of body horror, right? We're just gonna have like here's some gross shit. This one I didn't like. See, we have a dead cat. That sucks. I don't want that. Gross. There's the fly variant, pretty cool. But you're just gonna have body horror, and I'm like, that's the best you can do. That's the best. Absolute. We can't use absolute. How about midnight? Yeah, like it just seems like that's not. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Not super interesting. This is kind of buried. This buried. I guess he mentioned this in the Hall H panel, but there were so many panels, there were so many things going on.
Yeah. Yeah. I still
Uh,
haven't managed to get through them all.
yeah, that there's two more Jay and Silent Bob one shots. I think the Days of Future Past is a great title. I don't know if we can come up with two more titles from that. I didn't read that yet, but I guess it's all right. Do you know about this? I don't know about this. There's a movie,
Oh,
there's a
yeah, I
documentary.
didn't. Cool.
It's coming out
I
like next
love.
week in things in festivals and shit. So it's probably going to be
Okay.
held for a little bit. But I guess I just don't understand. So there's a lot of people being interviewed. Terry Gilliam, Matt Groening, it says Robert Crumb. So it must be some archivy
Yeah,
stuff.
the problem is there's not a lot of people alive who knew him. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean
he's got a
that's
lot of students. He does have a lot of students. He did teach.
yeah, and
You know, I like
I guess Terry Gilliam did like a photo comic and help. Does that sound
did
right?
oh did he do that makes sense. Why wouldn't he help?
Yeah,
Why
so
wouldn't he work and
but
help?
John Cleese was like starring in it, I guess. I guess he just took photos and just made some type of like strip. So I don't know. There's stuff I don't really know, but then it says it's directed by Bart Simpson, and I'm like, so I tried to look this up. This is just it's a literal person who does documentaries now or something, and I'm just really confused. I'm like,
I
your
thought for
name's
a
Bart
minute it was the
Simpson?
guy who sold shoes.
Uh, Bart Simpson. So I don't know how that. So I was trying to look, and then he apparently had something to do with this, which came out a long time ago. This is on Prime, so I'd never seen this. So that seems kind of interesting. There's some toy stuff.
You'd
Here
be
we
more
go.
interested if it was Morbius Redux. It was all about Morbius.
Morbius, Morbin time. Oh, I believe he's completely fucking canceled at this point. There was an hour long BBC documentary with like complete full interviews that you can't do in America. They basically put it over there because I feel like the libel laws are different, but you can
Yeah,
watch the whole thing on YouTube. I could only get through like
and
about
it's
20
really
minutes
bad.
of it, and it's
Is it
gross. And
bad?
I turned it off. I couldn't deal with it.
Ugh,
I couldn't deal with like the predatory behavior of like the first story and the first witness, and I'm like, I'm out. Can't do it.
that's a
So
shame. That's a shame. Shame for for the victim. It's a shame for him.
yeah, just
Is it just an abuse of fame,
yeah,
or
yeah,
is it?
yeah. But it's also but it's like yeah, it's I don't even want to get into it. So anyway, let's look at these little children. So good
That's a weird way
segue
to say
there.
it.
Good segue. There we go. Boom.
Sergeant Slaughter.
So yeah, so we love these Ben Cooper costume kids are really cool. So these are all your GI Joe. Well, that's your Sergeant Slaughter, your Grunt. I love the bags too. The bags are really fun.
I really wish
Um,
like yeah, because they look like little pillowcases, which we've used as
yep.
Halloween
Yep.
bags. I wish Sergeant Slaughter would be in the GI Joe comic.
Can he not?
I don't know. I mean, he hasn't. I mean, I don't know if he'll show up. I don't care if he shows up in Energon. I want him to show up in a Larry Ham. I want the Larry
He
Hamaverse to
should be
have.
in Larry Hama, correct? Yes, he should be in
Yeah, I
Larry
want
Hama
everyone.
stuff.
I want like we. I want Refrigerator Perry. I want Rocky. You know, I'm so
Rocky
glad
will
we're
not
getting
be a
Tomb
thing.
Raider.
No.
No,
Although Stallone just recently his company got license rights to do Rocky action figures, and he promoted them, and he did a video with them, and they're worse than the NECA ones. The NECA ones are really good,
right.
and a couple years ago there was another company that did them. They're also really good. The
He should
newest
have
company
made.
that he's shilling, no, they're not good. Like so, like they're not. He's like, look at this. They're a little cartoony. They're a little. It's a little too much. They didn't do full likeness. So like I think the Hot Toys are real good, but like sometimes the Hot Toys are they're so real. It's like uncanny valley. Like
It's
it's a little
great.
bit
It is.
off.
It is. My friend buys Hot Toys, and I'm just like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it seems real
Give me.
expensive.
That's what I want. Give me a Hot Toys of Jesus Christ
Jesus Christ.
with
So I
the
can't really tell.
Shroud of Turin.
I know that there are a lot of Etsy things though I can get a Sword of Omens. I think I'm going to get a Sword of Power and Sword of Omens for the house. You know what I mean? Why not?
You're not just in case
Very
someone breaks
single.
in.
But like this, I saw this and I'm just like, was it three? I guess when I think of the Thundercats claw, I think of it being on the side of my toy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't remember if there's three or four.
So is that claw made from like a bigger Thundercat? Like we.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like the whole thing is and I think this what kind of sucks about this is like I don't really like the way that looks. This looks cheap. This is $110 complete. Um and then but then I think
And it's made out of soap. That's weird.
it doesn't come and then
It
it
doesn't.
doesn't come with the stand. So like I got to go figure that out. If you're
You made a perfect stand for it, and then it doesn't come with it. Cool.
just charge $20 more. You know what I mean? I don't like that. I guess it's so funny. Like I don't want things too expensive. I don't want things
But
too cheap either. You know.
yeah, yeah.
The $110 for both those things, I think, is probably no good. I'm shocked that the Master of the Universe movie is on Amazon Prime, and the cup
It's doing really good too,
sword does
which we
not
know.
go down on eBay. It has not gone down. It's $100, and I'm like, it should be 40. At this point, it should be $40 or less. It should be retail or less. It was $40, and back in I should probably check the website. I feel like they did like they're going to do another wave of them because you can go on, I think, regalcinemas.com. I think you can pre-order it. It says coming out in October, which I think is hilarious. I'm like, this movie's so not in the movie theater, but you can order it from Regal online. So I might look for that. Here's some DC, the never-ending McFarlane wave that's never ending. That's It's going to end at some point. Oh crap! I probably should go back. The Mattel ones are hitting targets now, and they're pretty good. They look pretty good. They don't look too bad. But here's your ta I guess is towards the end of the multiverse. Look, it's like an indignant Batman. He's a little upset Batman. This one just looks like a regular, just like your generic Batman, but they say it's a Neil Adams Batman. I'm like, and then they use this cover, which this cover is from like a World's Finest, and I'm like, that's like the worst Neil Adams ever. It's like the worst. Like you have a billion Neil Adams drawings. You're gonna take one, and it doesn't really match that. Like, what are you talking about? I mean, it looks like an Irv Novick. Just say it's an Irv Novick. Who cares? Like it's a Bob Brown. You know? Look at that. Got the black Pete his pants. Pete his pants.
It's cool to pee your pants.
It's this is a Kelly Jones Haunted Night, but I just don't know why they don't reverse this. Like make it all black and then do blue highlights. This is just
But
blue.
yeah, blue highlights would look better. It's like the Spider-Man costume. We liked his legs looking black with blue highlights. We
Looks
hated
like
it black.
he's
Blue's boring.
drooling. He's got rabies. This is rabies Batman, you know? So rabies Batman, you could buy that, I
Mad,
guess.
mad
Then I went
dog, mad
online to
dog.
see. I was like, there has to be a better Kelly Jones. So I went on. This is a Mayfix Dark Knight figure altered by this guy, Tony Meese, who I was on his Instagram for a while. This is a I think he bought a Nightfall one and then he painted the black on it and he
Okay.
painted more definition on it and it's
So
cooler.
McFarlane's deal is just about up with DC, right? End of 2026, somewhere around 2026. Have you heard anything? Is there any openings? Remember, he's like, oh, there's some openings. We might have to. Like, I don't know if he could
Um,
do like the Staction
Superpowers.
figures.
I think there might be a I think that's the only thing he can do. I think multiverse is gone. I think he loses that stuff. I think the only thing he can carry over is superpowers. I know what you're saying. My theory is that he can do that. I don't have
Yeah,
any
we're just
confirmation
guessing
on
here,
this.
people. We have no clue.
We don't know. There's your Mayfex. I don't know. That's tempting. You know what I mean? Because if I get a
Yeah,
Batman, I should get a 90s Batman. I should get like a crazy Batman, you know? But this guy, there's a TikTok guy who like takes it and rearranges it and then resells it. But this is closer to what I want. I would want as a Kelly Jones art figure. Nice, nice, nice. That's it. What time is it?
nine thirty
9:39.
nine.
Doing good. All right,
Doing
so
good.
I'll go into my weekly haul. We'll go into the X. We're doing good, making good time. So I grabbed a bunch of stuff. I grabbed a Green Hornet. I meant to grab the issue 1 cover. There was a Green Hornet #1 poly bag. This was a hologram inside of that, which is like a
Oh,
regular,
nice.
like Tom Smith, but it has a Norm Brayfield cover. So now I now have a. I have to double check. I think I'm missing maybe one issue for Brayfield. Like I have every Brayfield artwork. I have to
Wow.
check. Like that's I think it's about almost 200 comics in between.
Is there any Spider-Man by Brayfogle?
No. Yes. I believe there is a Marvel Fanfare pinup. I believe there is a Spider-Man. I think. And was
Oh,
it there was a Christian comic, Within the Stars, Reach for the Stars, Within the Stars, something like that. There's a
okay.
Spider-Man story in that too. Yeah. So there's only like one or two. I like it when he comes back with the Prime Captain America book is actually really good. And there's also he did a couple issues of that Catherine Imdeman, I believe, wrote of when Hellcat was trying to come back to Marvel. They had an Avengers annual. There's like 2 annuals that he drew. That was a lot of Avengers.
Yeah, and
Later
it's pretty good, Brayfogle.
McFarlane. Yeah. It's later McFarlane Brayfogle. Or McFarlane. It's later Brayfogle, but it's like it's past. It's post Prime. Post Prime. Um, it was like a Dave Dorman. This was in a Star Wars Galaxy Chromium, baby, Chromium card.
Nice.
Love it. And then this is an etched
Oh,
card, an Arta Joe Quesada card, etched, etched. That's the best. It's hard to get a picture of this thing. I tried like a bunch of times, but that was pretty fun. These I bought. I think you said you had like a buyer for these guys, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna let them go. So I got
No,
them for
they're
five
they're
bucks
they're
a piece.
basically great holofoil. They're awesome.
And these would be what? These are Dynamic Forces exclusive. That was it, right? I guess. Or I guess yeah. So, but that these are holofoils. So these are
The only,
not
yeah, their holofoils are
chromiums.
great. It's Coven One, Volume Two. The only other holofoil, I think there's a holofoil of Glory in a swimsuit for Glory Zero
Okay.
Dynamic Forces. If you ever come across that, that's good. I don't need it, but it's good. It's really
Yeah, if
nice.
I find a holofoil, I'll grab it. I grab Rack and Pain 3 and 4, Capullos, which I think were store exclusives, were retailer exclusives, I believe. I think they were either handouts or an order incentive. It's hard to think about that. I got a Technophage silver etched cover, which I've never seen, you know what I mean? And it's not very good looking, but it's like it's crazy looking, because that's all, it was Brian Talbot artwork, and it's just
Hmm.
crazy, crazy bumps, crazy bumpy. Dragon Arrow, Dragon, this I think this is actually pretty cool that they did this. So basically, because this is a way that they should, and they did a little bit with Dylan Dog. There's a Batman Dylan Dog series they put out in Italy, and then they put it out over here, but I don't think they promoted it that well. I think there was a Dan Mora like variant. It just kind of came and went, because I almost bought that a year or two ago. There was an Italian version of it, and it looked amazing. And I forget the artist on that, but this is a big character also, Dragon Arrow, which is like this almost like an Elric type character from Italy. And they did a 7 issue series 2 to 3 years ago where Conan was just floating in license, and now they're reprinting it here and they're putting all the regular artists. That's a Patch Searcher cover. That's a Roberto Della Torre painted cover for Conan, but this who did this? Francesco Dagnino, who on his Instagram
Yeah.
shows how he gives Dean White his art. So he gives him and he draws it on paper, he scans it in, then he wants what he wants to color, where he wants his shading, he decides the lighting. And then he gives it to Dean White, and he's like, then I don't look at it. He's like, when I look at it later, I'm surprised. Because Dean White would send stuff back to him, and he says he would start to dictate, and he's like, no, 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 that's not my job. I already did my job. So I think that's a really cool collaboration of coloring slash color, because you could see some guys like Capuccio, like they'll color grade. That they'll basically pre and actually kind of you can go back to Tim Sale, right? Because Tim Sale, before he gave it to Dave Stewart at some point, he just did like ink washes in like Daredevil Yellow and stuff like that. Like
Do
he
it.
would do
It's so
that.
fun to release something. Like when I give a script to Brian, and we do some layouts together. I love when he comes back to me with what he draws, and then
Mm,
when he gives it to Dex to color, I love getting that back. It like surprises me. But I have to not think about it when I give it to him. I
right.
have to release it. Like I can't be like, "Ah, it's got to look a certain
Release
way."
it, boy. It's a time song from
So
Graffiti
I'm
Bridge.
I'm always pleasantly surprised with Milligan and Dex, and that's cool. I think it's fun. And so doing this, it's fun to get something back
Yeah.
and be surprised. Hey, I don't know if you talk about it at all, but the Daniel Warren Johnson Chinkata comic. We had talked about how it's
Oh,
like
right.
black and white, but like the
Yeah.
space pages, he's like painting or like doing a weird thing on like a graphite paper, which is
Yeah,
basically like
yeah.
a rock.
That's me
It's like,
predicting it as well, because when the previews came out and they did the trailer, it was like all this black and white artwork, and then like yeah, all the space scenes were like him doing watercolor on the page.
yeah, that's
And
all. That page is literally rock. He can't ink on it. He can only color on it. Like he's really struggling with it, but he wants to do this.
right, 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 right.
However, when you get the trade will be colored by Mike Spicer.
No, boo. No.
No, he wants it both ways. I get it. I
Well,
find
I
it
guess
interesting.
I guess in the way the world works now. I mean, basically, like I thought it was a bad idea when they did the Absolute books. They put out hardcovers and softcovers at the same time, but apparently stores sell them. Doesn't matter. It's how you want it. So whereas in the olden times, you get a hardcover 6 months later, you get a softcover. So now they're
Right.
just like, and I was like, that's stupid. You're simultaneous, but then guess what's number one and two hardcover softcover? Like it's number one and two
Yeah.
every single month after month after month is all the absolute. So no, I guess I get that, because Skin Breaker's coming out twice. Skin Breaker's coming out Treasury hardcover black and white, Treasury hardcover color. So yeah, it's tough to say. Like the Conan, you can buy the Conan trades, or you can wait for this, which is an oversized hardcover deluxe edition, foil, foiled
There
again,
you go.
foil on the cover on the side. but then you have a bunch of extra stuff in the back like that is exclusive to this. So it depends on what you want. So then you have a bunch of covers, like so. Titan should take note of that and put out like similar to that Conan or similar to the Absolute. Maybe when it hits issue 50, because they only have like maybe three variants per. But you could do a Conan cover deluxe edition collection with all the variants with between J.H. Williams III, between Zafino. Here's just a handful of other stuff I got. So the big thing that I go over with when I'm at the shop is that I want to get things that are not reprinted. So even so, for example, this Hero Illustrated and this cover to Kindred are not reprinted anywhere. I mean, of course, but what I'm saying is the Kindred trade here has
Right.
all the covers, Virgin, cool. I have the original, so I have all four. So I have four. This Kindred trade has the prequel comic that was in something. Does that sound right? There was a couple pages in something else, or maybe that was in no, that's in Wildstorm Rarities, but I think it is printed here. There is like a prequel that came out somewhere in a wizard or something. So that's in here. Uh, but this Hero Illustrated has this poster version, fold out. But then it almost looks like these look like animated. Like it almost seems like this is what that Brett Booth did. Like here's animation uh templates if you want to animate this. You know what I'm saying? Like
Well,
this almost feels like a pitch.
maybe he wanted Backlash to show up in the Wildcats cartoon. And
Wildcats. Well, because that's what
Wildcats,
this looks
Wildcat.
exactly. This looks like Wildcats. Yeah, exactly. When we saw Jim Lee do, it's almost like framing. It's Jim Lee framing. It's not, get that dick. Got a
You
little
love it.
camel toe. I love dick and camel toe. So here we go. But this, yeah, same thing here. Like this Ash thing is nowhere.
That
What was
right.
that?
That is
Kid
not
Death.
Kid Death and Fluffy, right? Fluffy was the big cyborg dog.
Yeah, so I guess at some point, so this is issue 43. I guess at some point, pretty much every wizard you would get the poster, and then so that was the cover, so you only saw half Ash, right? But then the poster is just that version, right?
Right.
Then, but I looked at this, I'm like, oh, it's okay, cool. Like again, Scott Clark, this was for what? Endangered species, does that sound right? Warblade, 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 Ripclaw, I think it was. I think it was out through Wildstorm. But
Yes.
but this was in the middle of that. That was the poster. So that's interesting because I don't think that's reprinted anywhere. So double bonus. So double bonus here. Oh, look, what's that over there? What's that? War Child comic. What's that? I should look at that. What is that?
What is that? Huh,
The debut of Rob Liefeld? Was that something? War Child? It's a contest. You can get an original piece of artwork from Chap Yep, or you can get a
that,
copy of number one signed or poster signed, which I have the poster downstairs. Courtesy birthday present from Rob Messick.
that's right. That's a good
Um,
poster.
I could probably find, except for a handful, I could pretty much find every Marvel Age out there. But the Marvel Age covers also, I think sometimes when they do the Epic collections, they'll do the covers on that. But here's a Jackson Geist cover. I've never seen. I don't think I've ever seen that. You know, sold. Got this whole series, right? I never read this, but this is kind of ahead of its time because this looks like a cartoon. This looks like I mean, it is drawn by Polina, but that's not Polina's style. But I never
Oh yeah,
read this.
I remember this.
But I'll buy that for $1. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Polina's coming back doing something, right? This was a bit of a surprise. I was at Asbury Park yesterday, and on the boardwalk there was a comic shop. It was like comics, and again, the cool thing there is my girl picked the show we were going to, and I didn't look anything up. So that was a literal surprise.
That's
Normally when I'm
which
like,
is
where are we at?
that is not a
Oh,
Mark thing.
on the way home we can maybe hit you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
that's
Right.
like, so because I didn't get enough comic books this week, right? So but I went there and then they had a used section. It was a pretty interesting shop, but they it was like I forget what it's called, something comics and records. It was all like kind of main it was all like Fantagraphics, a lot of eight ball. It was just eight ball and have a family tree. It was all the like black hole. It was what you would think. It's just like as a almost like a higher end like hoity-toity. It wasn't comics, right?
Right. Right.
Um,
It's like
but even this, but that's probably why they had this. So for example, like in the whole comics thing, they had like two volumes of JLA, the newer edition Morrison trades. That's as close as you got to a superhero, basically. But then they had a used section, and then they had three, four, and five. So you never see five. You never see four. You never see three, four, or five of this trade. So Profit by Brandon Graham, and Simon Roy, and Beryl Dalrymple, and Gio Milonakis, Giannis, right?
Yeah.
Um, but these covers, I don't know if these covers were original or if these were I don't remember. I don't remember, but I think these are pages from these books basically. So they had three, four, five on sale for 8.99. That's good, right? Because you can't really get those
That's a
for
deal.
they're 40, $50 a piece. And then I went online to see if one and two are super, super expensive, I'm like, I'm probably still gonna buy them. Then I went to the main, they had like another section and they had one and two at retail. I'm like, well, that's a retail 9.99, fine. And that was a retail 14.99. So for $50, boom, got a profit set. And this would be good to sit and read. And Rob's question before the call, which was before we were doing this, was like, is there a hardcover for this? No,
No, there should be. So we,
there
we
should
kind of
be.
figured it out. Like this is 30 plus issues worth of stuff.
Is your
There should be
favorite page?
two. It's what do you call them? Young Star. Young Star is the future young blood group.
Look at that. Look at the babies.
That's
Kit and
right.
Georgina. John McCall. What was his other name? Billy.
Billy Kingsley.
That was when he was Bedrock. Bedrock.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes. So yeah, there should be
Chapel.
two nice oversized hardcovers equaling to the incredible Glory hardcover. The Glory hardcover is great. So
How
why wouldn't you
how
have?
is Jeff keeping that hair going? How is he keeping his red hair?
You know
Because
what? It's
is this Doc Rocket older?
yes.
There you go. Doc Rocket older,
You know,
Bedrock evolved, Die Hard with a jacket, and then a second Die Hard over here. Like a steampunk. It's like a future steampunk Die Hard. That's
yeah,
pretty
that's kind
fun.
of neat.
You know, that's a fun. I wonder how this came about. Like, how did this? I'm trying to see. Tom Mason, I guess. Is that right? Mason.
Yeah, Tom Mason colors, right?
Boom. So that's a friggin' find. This I was mad that I did not buy. So on the way home, I hit Final Boss in Lawrenceville because I wanted to get this. And what's kind of fun is Floyd, the owner, does a video of his new comics wall every week. So I was like, man, my comic shop didn't get it, and I was like, I kind of remember this. So my Thursday night, I went on to see if this was streaming anywhere. This is UFO robot Grendizer, and I think it was Channel 17 in the early 80s. They had something called Force 5, which was like an hour long. They would chop up the different cartoons from Japan, translate them, and then put them out. Similar like Battle of the Planets or whatever. So they're literally four different robots, but this was the one I kind of remember it a little bit. So I watched an episode or two of that, and it's weird, but it's Go Nagai concept art, and he's great. So I grabbed an issue of this, but I went on his video first before I went there. I was like, let me see if was on the new comics wall. He had one copy, and it was still there when I went there on Saturday because people were like, I don't know what the fuck this is. Purchased. Art's great. It's a Tommy Yoon-ish type of artwork. The whole first issue was kind of the first two episodes, so it was weird because I just watched them, and
Is it?
it's a little bit better, but it looks like a Shogun Warrior. You know what I mean? Like it's all around that
Yeah.
time.
Is it weird there was never like a Transor Z American comic or
Yeah,
Mazinga, according to that's what it was in
Buzzinga.
Japan.
Well, you know what's funny is that like the Gotcha Man comics, the new ones through Mad Cave are fucking awesome. They're all good. And the Red Impulse comic with it, and they did all these one shots, and they've all been good. So this is a weird. I'm nostalgic for it in a way, but I'm not
Also,
reverent to it. So when I read
Voltron.
Gotcha Man, I'm just like,
Voltron in the 80s had what, a three-issue series through Modern Comics?
yeah, that was bad.
It was bad. It was terrible.
It was
But
terrible.
that is where I found out about the Futurians. There's a Voltron comic I picked up real cheap. I'm going through the back, and it's like a great ad because it's like, what does Dave Cockrum do after you've created the Uncanny X-Men, the
And Legion of
Futurians?
Superheroes, right. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it was like awesome.
yeah, that's
So
funny. Yeah,
that looks really neat.
yeah. So this was pretty good. I'm gonna get that, and that's a great Derek Chew cover. I mean, all the covers were good. The only one I saw out in the wild was this one, the Miyazawa. Um, so that was the only one I saw in the wild. Uh, but then I got this. So yeah, that's your Derek Chew cover. Or no, that's I can't see who did that, but I'm probably going to order that. This I've never read. I got a handful of Shadowline Saga stuff, but I grabbed these two were in the dollar bins at Final Boss. Because again, I have I would say I'm missing probably 5 issues of Magnola covers. I have all Magnola. Like
Right.
I'd
That
say
makes sense.
I'm missing 5 covers. Basically, one's a Batman, one Detective, where that's expensive. It's a nothing comic. It's an MD Bright Jim Starlin interior. It's nothing. It's a nothing of a comic book inside. It's all that is just that. And I have it in the trade. I have it in the DC universe of Mike Mignola, whatever. But I need to get a handful of other small Mignola stuff. So, but Strange Rain Parts, which is a very good um, YouTuber, did a video on this entire Shadowline saga, which was basically after Archie Goodwin slash Jim Shooter's failure of New Universe. But what was confusing when I looked through this, now if you remember, I think Doc St. George number 10 is like a complete Jim Lee artwork fill in. So that's kind of fun. You can find that in the wild. It's either 10 or 8 or 10. All these only ever went 8 to 10 issues. Then they had this like universe ending miniseries, which I always see it in dollar bins, and then but because of the Mignola, and I was like, oh. But issue three, what was crazy about that is issue three had like Terror Incorporated. So this was an Archie Goodwin plot, but DG Chichista and Margaret Clark wrote that. But every issue had uh, Mike Manley, Gray Morrow, Klaus Janson, Kevin O'Neill, Bill Sienkiewicz art. So you had, and then Jim Lee did the prologue for issue two or four, I think. So there is some that, and that's the Punisher War Journal, Jim Lee, like heavy
Okay.
inks, like it's
I
a
would love it.
like Punisher War Journal 8, like the era, right? Never read this, but I have Apache Skies, which is either a sequel or it's a side sequel to this. But this was at Heroes in Burlington, New Jersey. So that was on sale for set for $7, $8, something like that. Sold. I was missing an issue one here. Grabbed a Grendel 4, still filling in. So now I have a Grendel. I have all the easier Grendels to get.
What's that? Dave Stephen Aches? That's neat.
Yeah. So that's yeah. Oh, I didn't even realize that. Wow. So that's Panda Brothers. Yeah, Dave Stephen Yates. I didn't even see that. Matt Wagner colors. But the maybe that's why it was harder to get. I don't know. I mean, it was two
Maybe.
bucks.
Maybe.
Um,
And it's
but
Kamiko, not comic. I said Comico my whole life, and then people who work there
Kamiko.
call it Kamiko. I'm like, okay, it's Kamiko.
But the harder one is the back end. It's like 40 issues, and 20 to 40 are really hard. So I have to find a string of collection. That's your King Conan Legacy variant. Mahmoud Nasrallah did 2 covers per on that. This was the last issue of the Marvel Conan series, basically. Great. And then these, I got a set of these, except for the last 4 issues of this American Century Vertigo X, Vertigo 10. Impossible. 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 Jumping over, I did a little bit of Instagram last 2 weeks
Oh,
because
good.
I've been Spider-Man hype. But and what's cool about it is that once you post to Instagram in the iPhone anyway, it'll actually push your final edited color changed vignette. Me emulating the photographer of all those complete history of blah blah
Right.
blah. You know what I mean? I should credit him because that's like my entire style of this. But this is like the most fun issue, the most fun Eric Larson issue, which came probably a year after he did Punisher, I suppose, somewhere in that. But I always thought it was funny. I'm like, what exactly are these? Are these like vampire? Like what's happening
Yeah,
here?
they're just scars.
They're just I just happen to do scars like this. Can we have does Larson have a story on that? You know, but this is like just wonderful Eric Larson. Just so much stuff goes on. You have I guess that's just color or photo statted, and but
Right.
like
Which is
Mike
not super easy to do back in the 90s.
Mike Macklin inks. But I do like that when I mess around with the the
Colors?
the filters and the
Right.
colors. Yeah, I just basically do it into hyper, and then I just turn up the saturation, and so it looks better than printed. I always love that. Oh my God, look at that.
So cool. They should again.
They should have put
I would
out like
rebuy.
a Punisher. They should have put out a little like think they did that before Marvel. They put out like Marvel Tales, and then it would be like just a handful of recent issues, and then they would throw like a dark shoot. They would throw like a bad cover on it, you know.
Think about
But
this, man. If you were like a 14-year-old kid, you just saw Spider-Man. You want to go buy the new series, or you hand a kid this, and this kid would love this. This feels like the movie. This feels more like the movie than any new Spider-Man Punisher comic in the past 30
then the
years.
two or three miniseries they have going on right now,
Yeah. They
like
they
too late.
don't match the energy of the movie. This matches the energy of the movie.
Yeah, get that
Isn't
too.
that weird?
Yep.
You can't do it today, but you could do it 35 years ago, 36
Well,
years ago. This is
yeah,
1990, right?
yeah, I love it, love it,
And,
love it.
I know we have some bias because we came in on this, but we're also aware enough to know that like this is what the kids would want today. There's a
Yeah,
reason
look, you could have put
Third Eye
this.
Comics sells Youngblood so well. There's a reason Mark Miller gives Liefeld comics to his nephews and nieces because they pop for the kids. This pops for the kids.
Right, right, right.
This is literally my first issue of Amazing Spider-Man that I bought. This is the issue that made me go, I need to buy this book regularly. I was casual on comics until this comic.
Yeah, that might be similar for me because I feel, but I only ever had the newsstand version of this. So this is my first physical copy of with the corner box.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, this is always good, and this is kind of a weird issue too because you have Mr. Fixit being paid by Stan Sebastian. Also, it's half Smart Hulk, but on the
right.
take Smart Hulk. Like,
It's Gray, Peter David, Las Vegas Enforcer Hulk.
yeah,
That's what he is.
right. So it's interesting, but then you also throw in Cosmic Spidey. I
It's
also really
Cosmos
love
Spidey.
that
It's
like
Acts
all
of
the
Vengeance.
ads just bleed onto the opposite page. Like this was like a I forget what the ad was. It's like a Nintendo
Yeah.
system ad, and it just bleeds over so
If you
heavily.
if you read this book digitally, it's like just too clean.
Yeah,
There's something about like they. All right, here's the Messick thing. Give me a facsimile. Give me foil facsimile on deluxe newsprint.
right, right. Well, I mean, to me, just give it to me as is. Give it to me raw. Give it to me, and then I'll just put my Valiant Vision glasses on and look like this. You know what I mean? So that's how I want to look at the world. I want to look at the world as if I'm looking through Valiant Vision glasses. That's my favorite shit. I didn't.
Honestly,
Do I have it in here?
I would
Oh, I
rebuy
didn't put the
every.
page in there, but I did write in my comments that it's very strange to I never look at a comic book, and I always get a little upset when the Twin Towers are in there. Isn't that interesting? I mean,
That is
that's literally
interesting.
20 years. It's 25 years ago. But literally every time I see it, I get a little pain in my heart. I'm like, oof. I am human after all, everybody. It is
You
true.
are.
But I always love this. I always love him floating out there, and then he kind of gets told maybe you should, you know, and he even they compare him to Superman. In this issue earlier, I don't think I put the panel here. That's when he grabs the guy at the rooftop, and then they do the "Who are you?" and he's like, I'm Spider-Man."
I loved it. I
You
loved
know?
it, dude. Because I was 13 when this came out, and it
Yeah,
just blew my mind. I'm like, what? It was so funny. Like, yeah,
yeah. But I always liked that him like kind of burning up. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. You know. So yeah, that's super fun. Here we go.
that's awesome.
Boom. The Spinne comic Tanjbuck number 48.
Yes, so some sort of weird German version of Spider-Man decided to just color Hulk green. And they did this a couple times in the early 90s. They would take McFarlane's Gray Hulk, color it green. It doesn't really fit. Like if McFarlane drew Green Hulk, I'm sure he would draw him differently. Like,
Yes.
but it's
Yeah.
still neat to see this. Like, and they actually took the McFarlane toy of this and made a green version of it.
Yeah, which I
So,
don't like. Which I don't like.
and this was an official Marvel poster.
Mm. Yeah,
This is official.
that's some good coloring though, man. That coloring's fucking dope.
Yeah, it was neat.
Hmm.
Very neat
Who do you think
stuff.
colored that? Is that like a
Hey,
Tom Smith or something maybe?
damn, maybe.
Paul Mounts? I don't think it was it's not
No,
totally a Paul Mount. Paul Mounts was much more watercolory at the time, so I don't think it was the Paul Mounts.
well,
What's this? What the shit
this
is this?
it's a San Diego exclusive. They made a glow in the dark cover for Absolute Martian Manhunter. By it's a Frank Cho cover. I have the other image there too. We should have probably showed that first. There we go. Yay! So that was it. Yeah, and I think it's like
Hmm.
100, $200 on eBay. So it's like good luck getting that.
Wow,
I know that's
that's pretty
pretty
fun.
neat. It is pretty fun.
Frank Cho. That's our Frank Cho. That's we like Frank Cho all around, but
We do. I forget who drew this, but there are retailer and exclusives for the new Evangeline comic Liefeld's doing.
I
Very
don't
low
think,
Liefeld quotient this week.
yeah, I don't think that this technically, I mean, to me, when I look at that's Brett Blevins' signature, but I don't think that that's Brett Blevins. So
No, no, it's neat. It's a neat looking cover. I'm curious to see, however, how big this book is, like how many covers they're going to do. This is just a cool negative burn cover. I'd had it before, but I just recently seen it again.
it
Sam
was in
Keith,
color.
rest
It
in
looks like
peace.
a newer color styling though.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Hmm.
But it's pretty neat
AI.
looking.
It's
It's not a.
AI.
It's not a.
It's
Hey,
AI.
speaking of, I saw this in a Inside Comics #1. I was
Arch
scanning a and
nemesis.
Art
Scott
Scott Dunbier
Scott
buying and
Dunbier.
selling comics. So this is like 1992. This is before Scott Dunbier did anything in comics except deal in original art.
Yeah.
Um, it's a nice Sean McManus piece though. Like I've always been a big fan of Sean McManus.
Yeah.
His Sandman stuff, his Supreme stuff, his
Dr. Fate. He had a good
Doctor
J.M.
yeah,
DeMatteis run in Dr. Fate after the multiple miniseries, after the J.M. DeMatteis miniseries, which was with the Keith Giff,
the GIF, the
the
big
GIF,
Giffer.
as they say. Uh, but on a timeline, so let's jump over to the X. Let's get into it. Ba da
Let's
ba
see.
ba
Today's the
ba.
ninth, so it'd
McDonald's.
be
Let's
at
see.
least going back to the
August.
second.
We gotta get through it. All right, there's your plats. Right, we did the plat.
We did talk about that. This is awesome. This is Marat being inked by George Perez for Brigade #3, Blood Brothers finale. I don't know if Marat still has that page or not, but it's definitely, if I got inked by Perez, I would definitely be holding on to that page.
Yeah, it's so clean. It's so clean. That's craziness.
This,
Crazy.
yeah, that's cool. This is the intro. This is from the Wizard article that started it all. The one is like, what if we took 80 properties and did them today in today's world of 2000? And Ed
Krubs.
McGuinness, we'd always looked at Ed McGuinness like he learned to draw from drawing He-Man toys.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
this, like we never got Ed McGuinness officially on He-Man, which sucks. But
Yeah, we
other
didn't. That's
people,
funny. Yeah.
yeah. This is a Jerry Ordway poster from
Mm.
this is from the Superman gallery that I could not find a good like. It's not in any omnibuses so far. Like I checked the Triangle omnibuses, I checked
Yeah.
the
Yeah, it should be it's not. You're right. But this again, this is a prime example of like of art that should be out. You know, that
yes,
should be in something. It should be in something is all we want. Yeah, that's the
yes.
majority of the stuff that we look at. You know, we would like it to be in something.
This is a Matt Haley page. Brigade #2 ongoing series had a thermal backup that was supposed to be continued. It wasn't. So this is just a page of an unpublished thermal backup from Brigade #3 by Matt Haley, a young Matt Haley.
That's interesting.
It is. This is
Oh,
again, I think from Wizard, the idea of Ed McGuinness drawing because Ed McGuinness did end up drawing Thundercats.
right,
By the
right, right, right.
time by the time MV Creations in 2000X started doing He-Man, Ed McGuinness was DC exclusive. So they did Wildstorm DC did get Thundercats and had Ed McGuinness draw the initial miniseries. So this is like the dream thing that we never got. Ed McGuinness drawing He-Man versus Lion-O.
Yeah, his
But we got
style is
this
different
piece.
now, so I don't think we would like it as much. We need this style. We need this style, McGinnis. It does
I
have
don't
three
know.
fingers. There you go. There's my answer.
Oh, look, there
Same
you go.
same episode answer, everybody. Perez, baby.
This is beautiful.
It's a
Just a really great
darker.
Perez.
Yeah, but this is so much better. God damn.
I
That
know
dark
that's
everything about that gallery just is like shitty. Like I mean they
it
couldn't mess
is.
up the coloring on the painting because it's a painting, but like that's like everything on the gallery is not as
So
good.
what I love is somebody dropped a comment on this with the original art. GeorgePerez.net, you know, Twitter page. Like, here you go. So I love when like other people get involved.
Oh, you're saying this. Let me click on that.
There you go. See down below,
Oh.
and
Did
it's
they
flipped.
flipped it? And they
Yeah,
flipped it and then they cut. Wow, interesting. Well, did they flip?
they moved the signature.
Yeah, but what about the S? Right? If you flip the S, then you have to flip, right? Did he
I
redraw the
guess.
S?
I don't know. It's super interesting though, isn't it?
I don't know. I can't, my brain's not working. My brain can't, my brain can't do it
Your
right
brain
now.
can't handle that.
It can't do it. It will not do it. It won't go. It won't go. Let me go back. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, McDonald's. Let's see. Splat.
Splat Punisher cover. Yeah, this. Oh, I had a hard time finding a good image of this online.
Yeah,
Not
man.
a lot because it was a store. It was a I think a show exclusive.
Quang Chan. Yeah, well, that looks good. Yeah, I mean, your black. Yeah, it's funny. Your black and white like art is better.
This is a Liefeld layout for a page of Blood Strike, which Dan Fraga, inked by Marlo Alquizo, I believe.
Frag a boom. Frag a
Yeah,
boom.
people forget Liefeld did the full layouts for Blood Strike 1, 2, and 3.
Frag a boom, baby.
Serial Geek
Jesus
magazine had an Ed
Christ.
McGuinness cover.
Look at how small the power sword is. You can make that a little bigger, bro. You can do it. Just make it a little bit bigger. Get a pill. Make it bigger.
That's right.
Yeah, see, dude. Like
Yeah,
this
it's
is
nice.
oh, you know what? I
That's
always thought this was Michael Golden. That's funny. I don't think I think about this cover that it's not Michael Golden. It looks like his hair's different. His hair's different, bro. It took the mullet off.
what? How dare they?
Mullet off. Molotov. What the fuck?
That's
That's
weird. That's interesting.
crazy. Wow.
That's funny.
That's a detail. Okay, so it's Dusty Abel and Jackson Geis. Jeez, it feels a lot. It is. It is. But who did that? Who's like, all right, well, we need to how
Oh,
did that
oh,
happen? Or
I know.
maybe this was the original. No, because
Oh,
Metropolis
maybe they.
SCU would have been that's post back. Oh shit. I wonder if who wrote this? Was this
Oh,
inventory?
wait a minute. No, no, no. Wait a minute. 1993.
This is 95.
What?
95. This is 93.
That's what it says.
This came out in 95, I think. I can't zoom in that.
I don't know. Not a great.
Wow. So you know what? I wonder if this miniseries was in a
Did they
drawer.
add the mullet?
Then they add the mullet. That this is what they have, and that's in a drawer. Good. And it says 1993 here. It did not come out in
Because
1993.
it is totally recolored.
This did not come out in 1993. This came out in 1995. This came out post Rebirth, post Superman, Return of Superman,
Right.
mullet. So the mullet's new. So somebody drew that mullet in. Who drew that mullet in? Mike Carlin drew it. Mike Carlin went in and
Maybe.
made the mullet. You know?
This is an unused pinup by Anthony Wynn, Anthony and Tim Townsend. Tim Townsend, it's
Oh,
funny. He
young
starts at Extreme and
early Tim
becomes one of the
Townsend.
best inkers of the 90s. This is a card from the He-Man DVD set,
Oh,
Merman Web Store by
look at
Ed
that.
McGuinness.
Get that dick. Boom. This one's
This
not
nice.
too egregious, I don't think. I think this one's that one's not too
It's yeah,
different.
it's not as bad, but it's still not as good as the original.
Yeah.
Another layout
It's
turned
like
into a page.
it's like eight like scribbles. Cool.
Yeah. This is a commission that somebody had colored, and when I wrote that, the guy who ended up getting it commissioned, he's like, "Yeah, this is mine." So
Jesus.
I love the interaction. I really do.
Did he send you the original? No.
No, I did.
Why
What a
is Whitney
jerk.
Houston? Whitney Houston's trending. What
Uh-oh.
happened?
What'd she do? This sent me down a small rabbit hole. This is from a Superman novel from 1942. So I went and found like a whole bunch of art from this novel, and I
It
love
was
it.
in
It's
color? Seems crazy to have that in color at that time.
there's black and white pages, there's color pages, but it's
That's crazy.
Schuster. It's really good looking. This is the this is a live interview. This is 9 pages of stuff, but it's got some really cool artwork in it.
John Workman.
Each one's about I had to do it in 4 different things. Look at this, dude. Those are the cards. That never got used as a cover,
Right, right, right.
and
And
that
then
never got used as a cover, except for a cover to this magazine.
right, right,
But it's
right.
cool. I wouldn't be surprised if we get that as a
Inside.
legacy cover at some point.
Yeah, get that legacy cover.
These are actual Ed McGuinness commissions by people.
Oof.
Yeah, the dude's and this
That,
is more modern. That's 23.
yeah, that Tila's dope.
I couldn't
That's
find
right.
any other image of this.
Was never in color. This
Right.
is a inside cover. I almost I want to incorporate into the Instagram like some of the ads because sometimes the ads I did a Killing Joke one a while ago. The Killing Joke coloring was a little different, and then the logo was very different. Well, there it was an
On
actual logo. It was an actual Killing Joke like it was almost like a playing card styling,
okay.
and that
Um,
was not used.
I
So,
posted this on my Blue Sky account, and Steve Rude liked it and reposted it. I was
oh,
like, yeah, Steve Rude.
Steve the Dude Rude, everybody. Steve the Dude Rude. I just got a what was that? It was a Future Quest presents Space Ghost #1, and I didn't think I had it, but I had it by Errol Lavetti cover, but I didn't have the Steve the Dude Rude
Uh,
variant. So it was a
yeah.
double, but that goes in my Steve Rude collection. So I win again. I win all the time,
You
everyone.
nothing but
Speaking
winning.
of winning. Speaking of winning, let me go to a comic store and I get to put out a bunch of new 1, 3s, and 5s, and I get to put them out alphabetically. But then I also get to kind of see what I'm going to grab and put to the side. Everything's great. Everyone have the best time. Like, share, and subscribe. Let us know what you're reading, what you want us to talk about. But some good finds. Mullet Gate. So I should make a little short about Mullet Gate. Mullet Gate. What happened? Who added the mullet? That's the question.
Yeah,
Who added that
that's the new
mullet?
deal.
Can I find that out? Can I email?
Or
Can
as
I
the
get to someone?
or as
Can
the
I
French say, moulet.
Jackson Geis is dead, so I can't ask him.
You can't.
He would be a logical, but that again, it's in a drawer for 2 years, so I think it's Eddie Berganza. Ah, I could probably he's probably accessible. That's who I think because he probably was the either managing editor. He wasn't full Superman editor at the time, but he was Mike Carlin's assistant. Probably did more than he should have. But good job, Eddie Berganza. So let's see if I can reach out to Eddie Berganza. Who Mullet Gate everybody, but that also means
Right.
I need to look through that series. That was Peter Krause
Right.
of
But
not the 6 Feet Under Peter Krause, but a different Peter Krause, right? Or is it
right
different?
of Power of Shazam
Yeah,
and
not of 911, not of Fox's 911,
irredeemable.
right?
No, no.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Power Shazam, Peter Krause. But I have to see who inked that to see. Did they go back and alter those? I would have to imagine that they have Superman in that issue, and then someone had to draw the mullet. So next week.